Exactly 133 years ago, in 1888, in the swamp-filled streets of London's Whitechapel district, where criminals roamed freely, a murder overshadowed all other crimes. The suspect of this murder was a madman with no reason to kill. He later became known as Jack the Ripper, and his name ranked among the most infamous killers. Many believe that Jack the Ripper killed a standard 5 people, but some think the number may have been as high as 11. Since many women in the Whitechapel area had to resort to prostitution to make a living, all 5 of his known victims were prostitutes. While these murders were ongoing, literacy among the general population was also increasing. The murders were reported in newspapers, and the public was deeply affected by them. Eventually, the public became so frustrated with the failed attempts to catch the killer that the police commissioner and the Home Secretary resigned Jack the Ripper's 5 victims. The first victim, Mary Ann Nichols. On August 31st, 1888, at 3:40 a.m., Mary Ann Nichols' body was found in Bucks Row, Whitechapel. The body was discovered by a man named Charles Cross, who noticed a woman lying on her back on the west side of the street while walking through Bucks Row. Soon, he realized it was a corpse. Another man, Robert Paul, had also noticed the body. Both men approached the body and waited for the police to arrive. Mary Ann Nichols was lying on her back. Her throat was cut, she was mutilated, and her intestines had been removed. When the authorities arrived, it was found that she had been dead for only half an hour. That meant the killer was probably right under their noses when Charles first saw the body. But the killer had already fled. The second victim, Annie Chapman. On September 8, 1888, Annie Chapman's body was found at 29 Hanbury Street by an elderly resident of the building named John Davis. Her throat had been cut and her entire uterus had been removed by the killer, increasing the horror of the crime. George Baxter Phillips, serving at the time as a police inspector, stated that the killer had worked so meticulously on removing Chapman's uterus that he must have been knowledgeable. This wasn't the work of someone merely venting hatred. It indicated a skillful, informed hand. This was the first clue obtained. Later, on September 27, 1888, the Central News Agency received a letter from the notorious killer. "Dear boss, I hear reports that the police think they are close to catching me, but they haven't yet figured me out. Their attempts to appear clever and claim they are on the right track amuse me. The joke about the red apron really made me laugh. I am after the prostitutes, and I will not stop mutilating them until I am caught. My last job was a big event. I gave the woman no chance to scream. How could they catch me now? I love my work and want to start again. Soon, you will hear from me with new little games. My last job, I intended to write with a piece of flesh I had hidden in a bottle, but it hardened and I couldn't use it. Red ink will do fine. Next time, I must send the women's ears to the police to please you. Yours truly, Jack the Ripper." The letter wasn't disclosed until October 1st, and many believed it had been fabricated by a journalist. Nevertheless, it reached the newspapers and brought the public's attention back to the now famous Jack the Ripper, a nickname that would endure for a century. The third victim, Elizabeth Stride. 3 days later, on September 30th, at 1 a.m., Elizabeth Stride's body was found by a man named Louis Diemschutz on Berner Street. Unlike the other victims, only her throat was cut, suggesting that the Ripper acted quickly, perhaps fearing being interrupted. Many questioned whether this was the work of Jack the Ripper, due to the unusual nature of this attack. The fourth victim, Catherine Eddowes. Just 45 minutes after Stride's body was discovered, another body was found. Catherine Eddowes, her body, including her face, had been severely mutilated. Her uterus and left kidney had been removed. The police obtained one of their best clues in this case. A piece of Eddowes' apron was found on a street east of the murder scene by Alfred Long, near Galveston Street. Beside the apron, a message in chalk read, "The Jews are not the men to be blamed for nothing. widely interpreted as an anti-Semitic message. Later, the police received a postcard dated October 1st, written in the same handwriting, from someone claiming to be Jack the Ripper. The fifth victim, Mary Kelly. Approximately a month later, on November 9, 1888, Mary Kelly's body was found in her bed at 13 Miller's Court by the assistant of the landlord. This murder was the most horrifying, with her intestines removed and nearly all her skin flayed. The landlord and assistant described the scene as more like the work of a demon than a human suspect's. Montague John Druitt, aged around 40 at the time, was a doctor with a lawyer cousin. He disappeared shortly after the last murder and was later found dead in the Thames on December 3, 1888. Michael Ostrog, a Russian doctor and criminal with previous psychiatric hospitalizations. Insufficient evidence prevented prosecution. Aaron Kosminski, a Polish Jewish resident of Whitechapel, institutionalized later, known for his hatred of prostitutes, matches eyewitness descriptions of the double murder night. Female Ripper theory. Jill the Ripper, suggested by researchers who argued the killer could have been a woman, as police only searched for men. Eyewitness accounts largely contradicted this. Prince Albert Victor. The royal conspiracy theory suggested he killed to cover up a royal illegitimate child. Lack of evidence dismissed this theory. Walter Sickert. Crime novelist Patricia Cornwell theorized Sickert as the Ripper due to clues in his paintings. Analysis of letters and documents was inconclusive. Joseph Barnett, roommate of Mary Kelly, possibly jealous and familiar with the streets. Some speculate he killed to protect Kelly, but no evidence proved this. James Maybrick, wealthy cotton merchant from Liverpool. His diary suggested he confessed to being Jack the Ripper. Authenticity remains disputed. 8 suspects, but perhaps there was a 9th. We may never truly know. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you enjoyed it, don't forget to subscribe to the channel, like the video, and share your thoughts in the comments.